Welcome back, brothers, to another episode to the O'Shea Blogcast. I'm your host, O'Shea Duke Jackson. For those of you who were on my main channel last week, we had a special guest, Kevin Samuels, image consultant. He has a really great channel. I heard about him just a few weeks ago, and we went on ahead and hooked up around that time. And he gave a great show. A lot of brothers went over and subscribed. I believe Kevin said he got how many subscribers from last show?
Oh, it's close to about 400, almost 500 now.
Okay, yeah. Well, 500 people went over there. They were very impressed with their body and all that. So welcome back. Well, actually, it's your first time on the Blogcast channel where I typically do all my interviews. So welcome to the first time, but not your first time to the O'Shea channels. Welcome.
Thank you. What's up, people?
All right. So, in the manosphere, typically before we kind of get into your interview, it was pretty much before I came, we were talking about, really talking about the kind of fuckery that women do and stuff like that. Now the manosphere on YouTube and even on websites is changing to more of a lifestyle type of thing, exercise, more of how to improve yourself. And then a guy like you who necessarily probably wouldn't have fit into what people were talking about years past, a guy like you makes a big difference now because you're all about lifestyle.
Right.
You're all about the image. And to kind of talk about how important image is for the brothers who don't really understand image.
Okay, so brothers, this is where I want you to really listen. Image is not about money. It is not about being superficial. It's not about being fake. It's not about playing a role. Image, quite simply, is this. It's a tool. If you go out to your garage, you got a hammer, you have a drill, you have a screwdriver, whether it's flathead or Phillips. If you've ever done any work around your house and had to use the wrong tool, if you ever tried to hammer something in with a can, or you ever tried to saw something with a butter knife, you know how hard it is to do the right job with the wrong tool. Every day I see men of all stripes, brothers in particular, just not using their image as a tool to get what they want, whether that's professional or personal. And the reason, there's many reasons, and we can get into all those on another time. I like to deal with what is. I work with everyday guys. I don't work with, I do have some stars and NBA players and all that, but I try to work with everyday, regular, blue collar, white collar guys who are just trying to lead a life and be successful, helping guys use their image to be the best version of themselves each and every day. And that's a twist because a lot of us think image is just about putting on some clothes. No, that's not what it is. Or it's about, just getting dressed on special occasions, or when you're going out, or when you're going to a party, or you're going on an interview. Yeah, we got that. But life happens in between those moments, and we miss so many potential opportunities because we're not ready. We're not ready when an opportunity presents itself, or we can't even see an opportunity because we're like, man, we got our head focused on something else. I can't tell you how many times I run into somebody when I'm talking and they're like, what do you do? And I tell them I'm an image consultant. Oh, well, don't judge me based on what I'm wearing right now. Cause I'm like, well, what would it be like for you if you looked your best, authentically you each and every day, and weren't trying to break the bank or spending a bunch of money? It was just authentically you. How much better would your life be if you were in the zone? And that's what I work with guys trying to get done.
Okay. Let's talk about this because, it is a lot of brothers, when they look at you, let's say right now, you're in a nice suit. I can Google images of you. And I see you like, wow, man, he looks immaculate. And the brother says, I'm making, $15 an hour. I mean, I know that, you're a professional, but when it comes to me, I don't know if I can do that. It sounds good, but what may be, not expensive to you may be expensive to me. How do you talk to somebody like that, a potential brother who are, has that issue?
Well, and the first thing I would tell our brother is, I hear exactly what you mean. This jacket right here came from Men's Warehouse. It cost 64 bucks. This tie came from Men's Warehouse. Cost $14. This tie clip came from Men's Warehouse. Got it for $9. This shirt, I had it custom made with some of the finest cotton ever on the planet. It cost me $30 online. So I may look like $1 million, but all total, it's less than $100 and some odd dollars. It's just the fact that it fits. It fits correctly. So if we can actually have a talk about the tool versus the price of the tool, then we're working. A lot of times guys don't even want to have a conversation because it's kind of like seeing a fine woman, a fine, super fine, she bad. And you already talk yourself out of it. Oh, she probably got a man. Oh man, my breath is stinking. Oh man, my pockets ain't right. My car ain't right. And you walk up to her or she walk by you, you done talked yourself out of it, and she walk by and say hi. You mean like, man, trick you. That's how a lot of times men are with things we don't understand or things we don't feel like, are in our league. So I have made a concerted effort to stay right there and say, no, brother, you can do this too. And yeah, we can take the prices on up. It doesn't cost a lot to look that way. Now, why am I dressed this way instead of more dressed down to where maybe that message will connect? I get it. You're looking at a brother in a black and white suit, probably saying, yeah, that sounds cool. And you wore some things just for for effect, but you may not connect with me. You don't see a lot of guys walking around in suits every day. I get it. But we all have an image. We all have a brand. Just like I'm a image consultant, I couldn't come on here in a white beater t-shirt or a fitted and be credible. If I came on here not looking like what I'm supposed to be, you'd be like, why am I going to take image advice from a cat who don't even look like he knows what he's talking about? But that's the point. I look the part, so now you said, maybe. And that's what I want you guys to understand. Looking the authentic part for you so people can say, maybe.
Okay. Let's kind of get into some things. We talked a lot about shirts and clothes and things last time. Let's just talk, before we get into those things, I noticed that a lot of the people with the image, if now you've debunked the fact that it's not money that's the problem. There are a lot of men, you alluded to this, a lot of men lack that confidence. A lot of men have great jobs. I was talking to one dude on my hangout yesterday, truck driver, shout out to HT Logistics 3434. He says he clears $3,500 a week. And we do have a lot of black men out there who make that kind of money, more so than we're wanting to admit. But when it comes to putting together the right type of clothes or what is really good for them, you still have a lot of men that, even though they don't have they have the money, but they don't have the confidence. What do you do with your clients to instill, the confidence, to improve their everyday appearance? When we remove the fact that money is not an issue.
I take your approach, honestly. One of the things you talk about is black men do not have a place where we control our own image. And the Negro Manosphere is a platform for us to control our image in other things. Once you talk, you're not talking about just getting on YouTube, making videos, talking shit. You're talking about doing it for a purpose. So I work with a guy and get inside. I ask him questions about who he is. Who are you? What do you want to be? Who are you? Who are your people? What do you work? What do you want to do? A lot of times we have the big picture. I want to be married. I want to be a CEO. Okay, great. That's the big picture. but tell me about what that looks like on a day-to-day basis. What does that look like on your perfect day? And I get them to reimagine themselves in that way, because it has to start in the mind. You know, we talk about confidence. You've heard you can Google it, you can look on YouTube. There are millions of topics, there are millions of videos, writings out there. You've heard fake it till you make it, such and so forth. There's so many different ways, but one thing that I think everyone can agree on: when you're looking right, I mean, just think about it. Whether you're doing it right now or not, just think back to that time in life when you walked into the club or you walked into the spot and you was looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Your pockets was right. You was smelling good. Whatever nobody could touch you. Well, that does not have to be a one-off thing. That can be on a day-to-day basis. But a lot of times, men, let's be honest, especially as black men, we see our image destroyed in front of us every day. We don't have to turn on mainstream TV. We ain't crap. We ain't crap for fathers. We can walk, you know, everything we just wrong. And then we got a lot of women in our lives. A lot of us raised in matriarchal situations. The male image has been so crapped on. So, you know, when I work with people from other cultures, I don't have to do that kind of work as much. With black men, I have to really, really build up the image of what a man is and should be, and get that person back to ground zero, and then we can have a conversation. But here's the thing: it takes a little bit longer, because brothers were more, you know, black folk, we look at things with a more cautious eye. You know, we just not gonna go for the okie doke in general. But if we believe you and you speak our language, you're not trying to talk down to them, you ain't trying to be better than them, you're just trying to help that man, you know, we are quicker to style and get moving, because like I said, there are a few areas where we got some natural abilities and authority. Sports and style, two of them. So I work with guys, really getting them to understand that, man, look, you know better. You know your story. Tell me your story. And then let's work with you right now. Maybe all you got is Target, Walmart, Ross, TJ Maxx kind of money right now. Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's work with that. And then as we progress and life starts to happen and you use your image as a tool to get what you want, you don't tell nobody about it. You move in silence. You just put a piece here, put a piece there. You go to work and folks are like, man, O'Shea, you looking different. You didn't normally coming in with your shirt ironed. Mm-hmm. Just ironing. You got your shirt is ironed. Okay, yeah, I don't know that's a pre-ironed shirt that just stays that way out of the dryer, but you know that. Okay, well, O'Shea, you got the shoes. I like those shoes. They smell good. People notice. And here's the thing: the people who notice aren't, you find it's those people who are around you that notice, but it's the people far away who have the power who are noticing, saying, wait a minute, that gazelle isn't like the rest of them. Wait a minute. The pack is over there, but that person stands apart. That looks like a leader. That looks like a man. That looks like someone who's not thinking like everyone else. They start watching you. You get promoted before they offer you the promotion. You get chose before the chick walks up and chooses you. We can break it down however you want to, but a man knows this stuff implicitly. I just give him permission to say, dude, guess what? Being a man is cool, and you ain't got to have all the money, but you can look good right now with where your pockets are right now. I could take this jacket off and go put on a nice white t-shirt and still look like the part, because it's the way I carry myself and the way I think about myself. My image just makes that line up.
Let's talk about this because I see a lot of dudes, you know, especially like, you know, I go to medical school here in Poland, and I notice like some dudes, they'll have on a nice suit, but they don't have like the right posture. They still look like they don't, you know, the suit looks nice. You know, you can tell it looks iron. They don't exude that confidence. They don't have that right posture. Do you help men also with all of that after you style and you put everything on, just to walking like you own the room kind of thing?
Yeah, because like I said, when I sit down and talk to a guy, I want to know who he is, know what his story is. A lot of men have not even been heard. A lot of times people say, how you doing? They really don't care.
Mhm.
When I talk to a client, I find out how you are.
Mhm.
And then men naturally we all want to be accepted, approved, such and so forth. And whether you were taught it or not, I talk about basic stuff without fear of insulting. I talk about basic hygiene, posture, grammar, everything else. Black people, we know how to code switch with the best of them. We know that. Like you said, it's not just about having a suit on. That's like when you see a teenage boy with a suit on, it doesn't make sense because we equate suits with business, men, professional, such and so forth. So we're sending the wrong message. Just like if you were in a suit and you slouched all down, or shoulders all this way, or you talking all loud, or just inappropriate, talk to me and say, here's how I carry it. This is what we're trying to get accomplished. But here's the thing. It has to make sense and be authentic to that person. A lot of times people think a stylist is going to try to change them and make them, um, play this role or front. And we're not doing that. Really, I'm just helping you show who you truly are. And that's refreshing to a lot of guys because they're like, man, nobody's ever talked to me with respect before. When you talk to someone, speak to someone with respect, they start to respect themselves, and they turn around and respect you. It's hard to have somebody cuss you out when you approach them with respect, even if their instinct isn't that way.
Let me talk to you about this. Now that we got over the price, we got over the confidence factor. I know we talked a lot about main things, shoes. Let's talk about accessories. Because I know I see you have a very nice watch on there. Let's talk about, you have a tie clip on. You mentioned that. Let's talk about, the importance of accessories, because, me, I don't really. I know I'm lazy when I buy a shirt, pants, belt, whatever. I'm not, as an accessory person. Man, I really don't think in terms of accessories. Tie clip, cufflinks,
Right.
things of this nature. Talk about the importance of accessories, how that plays a role into the outfits. Because like a guy like me, I'm just, I don't like spending too long in no damn, shopping places. I just get whatever I want to leave and get the fuck out.
Right. So here's the thing. So accessories they're only important to certain style personalities. There are basically 9 style personalities. I won't belabor you with all of them, but just like anything else, it's like if you're playing sports, each position needs different talents. If you're a cornerback, you need speed. If you're a lineman, you need size. So as far as accessories, some basic accessories go with any style personality. One simple way to make a suit stand out, that if you're wearing a tie, is just put a simple tie bar on, or a simple pocket square. It doesn't have to be any colors. It can just be white. Those are basic and go with any style personality. A simple watch. A watch, especially in today's day where everyone has smartphones and everything else, a simple watch speaks volumes about a guy. It says things. It says stuff to other people. So most guys don't wear a watch anymore. I normally should start with shoes, but we already talked about shoes before. Something as simple as carrying a pen. Carrying a pen every day, you're just ready. You just look like you're ready to do business, even if you're not in a quote unquote corporate America. One of the easiest accessories for guys to pull off, I mentioned this the other day, is eyeglasses, frames. Simple, easy way to change your look. And a lot of times we as men, honestly, the thing is, O'Shea, none of us are really taught. Women buy 70% of men's clothes. So mothers and girlfriends buy clothes for guys to look cute. Mamas are buying clothes to make them last and fit. Men, we buy clothes for a different reason, to denote status. So what I try to do is teach guys how to use clothes to accomplish a purpose. So even somebody like you said, like you're busy. You don't want your style is much more smart, casual, Americana, and that's what I mean. And here's the thing, but there's a zero end of it, and there's 100 end of it. Most guys are closer to the zero end because we associate comfort with honestly, we just like, you know what, I'm just gonna be me. I'm just throw this on, hell, like it. I'm going to school, I'm going to work, I got stuff to do, I'm about my business. And the content of my character and the quality of my work, it'll speak better than my clothes. 100% wrong.
Nope. That's a big American thing. I'm glad you put that on. Americans really feel like that. Stop the show. What you just said was so fucking real. That is how Americans feel. In Europe, it's the complete opposite.
Well, and the thing is, that's what we think, but it's just like, somebody saying, hey, I got a homegirl I want you to meet. What she look like? Well, she's really nice. Okay. First, you don't go holler at a chick because she's nice. You holler at her because she fits your type.
Right.
She may be nice and all those other things later on. That works later on. See, we understand that when it's other folks, but when it's us, we don't want it to be real because that means we got to do something about it. And we are resistant to change. We do not want to change because, hey, look, I know how to do this. It's like if you're driving a car. My hoopty is my hoopty. I know I got to cross this wire. I know I got to put my foot over here, clap 3 times, spin 1 time, cough, and hit the acceleration. And I know how to drive that, and that's how we live our life. But then what I do is if I can get a guy who decides, when a guy comes to me, he's usually at the point to where he's tried everything else. Now he's willing to try to change. That's someone I can work with. The people who are not willing to change or even look at it, I can't work with them. It's kind of like a dude who's simping hard or he's completely blue pill. You can't tell him about women or female nature or whatever until he's reached a point to where he's like, you know what, I'm open to hear it. And then you show him real quickly how it, because that's the real thing. You got to show him. Just put him in a shirt, put him in some jeans, put him in something, and it fits. And then somebody walk by him, and like it or not, someone will walk by, whether it's a woman or a guy or somebody, and say, man, that looks nice. And they get that affirmation. Because when someone says you look nice or smell good, even if you ain't checking for them, even if they ain't your type, it doesn't make you feel bad. You like, cool. And if you have a choice in the morning, of wearing something that's going to make you look good, feel good, and help you out in your personal and professional life, and it's just as easy to put on this thing over here that is not going to do any of that stuff, which one are you going to choose? You're going to choose the one that's going to help you.
Right.
It's just making those two things available for guys and making the choice easy enough to where it's like, because guys, we want simplicity. People can be like, yeah, that suit look cool, but I don't want to put on that tie, do that, such and so forth. You ain't got to do that. There's levels to this game. And at any level, you can look good. T-shirt, jeans, and Stan Smiths. You can still look sharp as long as it fits.
Okay. Let me do this. In the great point, Lorenzo, shout out to him. Love yourself. At the end of what matters. I agree. High def, dude is smooth. Yeah, Kevin Sim is definitely smooth, man. Him and Rom were kind of remind me a lot of each other. We'd like to get you both on at the same time. All right, let me do this, Kevin. I want to ask these last show.
Okay.
I was just in Uganda, right? Saw a lot of niggas wearing sandals. And,
right.
That's a big thing with a lot of African Americans, unlike African dudes. You don't see too many African American dudes wearing sandals, man. It's not a very well liked thing.
Right.
I don't fuck with sandals at all. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of think a nigga a little bit suspect with the motherfuckers on. I mean, I mean, that's kind of almost like working around with some gay shit.
Right.
What's your take on sandals, man, with your style game? Because
I hate sandals. Here's the thing. First off, as men in general, black men in particular, our footwear has to be functional because anytime we around us's, we know some shit's suspect to pop off. You can't run in those sandals. You can't throw down in those sandals. You can't squab in those sandals. That's why you ain't seeing a lot of brothers in sandals. Because you be on World Star Hip Hop getting knocked out. That's why you don't see a lot of brothers in sandals, real talk. Number one. Number two, we got that whole thing with the ashy toes and everything else. Look like we've been tap dancing the ashtrays or kicking flour.
Yeah.
But I hate sandals because one, men's feet are ugly. Mine are ugly. Even if they nice, they're ugly. And don't no dude want to be getting no pedicures and all this other kind of stuff. They're not functional. The only time I wear, I just dropped the video. It's in editing right now. The only time I wear some sandals is if I'm within 50 yards of water. So that means if I'm at a lake, a beach, someplace like that, for within 50 yards of water or sand, then I'll put on some sandals, but no Jesus sandals. The closed toe. And then, if I'm out and sandals look cool with like linen shorts and linen stuff, which is a good look for us because we're more tropical people, so we can pull them off in those situations. But just like I would not wear Jordans with a suit, I'm not going to wear sandals away from the beach. I leave items where they're supposed to go. At 48 years old, I grew up where you actually got dressed to go to church. You got dressed to go out to eat. Heck, people got dressed to get on an airplane. People got dressed to go to work. And you remember that. You were 36?
Yeah.
So you remember that. And everything has its place. Honestly, sandals just don't have much of place. And the bottom line, I'm gonna reinforce this. I'm with you. Dude, let your grown butt break down on the highway somewhere. Try to change a tire in some sandals. Walk somewhere in some sandals. Man, please. That'll be the last mistake you make for a long time.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this right now. And you making some good points. All right, now JPV. Like if you're in Africa, definitely sandals don't make the man. Like some of the most masculine dudes in Uganda got on sandals. We not saying
yeah.
We're not saying that. But here's the thing, man. One of the things, I don't know what it is in the African American community. Sandals are hella anti-male. I don't know why white dudes they're not gay, they wear them. But another thing too, man. A lot of Negroes. This is what I also felt. A lot of women don't like niggas in sandals either. I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to say that.
That's true.
A lot of black chicks, man, they don't like that shit.
The dudes that can get away with wearing sandals are if Asian. So if you're or Middle Eastern,
right? Or
I'm a martial artist. I got 3 black belts, and my Sifu, that's all he wears is flip flops, sandals. But that's what they do. That's part of their culture for thousands of years.
Right.
Sandals just don't look hard. I mean, now my Sifu, he knocked 7, 8, 9 of us out at one time. Nobody questions his manhood, but with us in this country, black men know better than wearing sandals. And sisters, really, they do look at you like you little light in the loafers, man. So if you want to, and here's the thing, everything costs. Everything costs. You can be a solid 5 as a dude, a solid 5. But just by putting on some clothes that fit, something that's nice, fitted to you, looks nice on you, just by doing that, putting on some cool shoes and throwing a fragrance, you can jump from a 5 to a solid adjustable 8 yourself. Mm-hmm. Now, if we're willing to do that, you got to take the hit if you're going to walk around in some sandals, because if sandals is a -1.5 already. Sandals is a -1.5, almost a -2. So if you a 5 and you put on some sandals, you done took 2 off. You a 3. Yeah, so take the good with the bad.
You who if you already got a girlfriend or something, you going to get some ice cream or something. I mean, I don't think you can't just come to the. You're not gonna be going to somewhere in the street with flip flops on talking to some bitches. You're not gonna. I seen one nigga do that. That was the funniest shit I ever seen. It was an emphatic no. I think like if you're trying to style, maybe
right.
we're not saying you can't be comfortable and shit like that. But I think like the sandal flip flops.
If people are trying to check that hard for sandals, y'all are working too hard. Y'all are looking for every, yeah, but okay.
We talking about style. We talking about style.
Yeah.
We ain't talking about comfort. We talking about style.
Right. And that is one thing that we have missed. So think back to your. I'm 48, so I remember seeing my grandfather and my great grandfather. Those quote unquote the greatest generation were men's men. And you didn't have as many clothes back then, so you had to take care of your clothes. There was something called suffer for your style. You knew that if you wore something that was going to make you look good or work for you, it was meant for that purpose. We have tried to take things that don't belong in places and put them there. Again, athletic shoes. People didn't walk around, didn't roam around in the 60s and 70s with Chuck Taylors off the basketball court. They left them on the court. And no different than with people playing basketball in church shoes. But in our culture is we got so much of, this is my shit, I'm going to do it my way and can't nobody tell me nothing. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And this is one thing I tell people, not just guys, but guys are harder to hear. Cool. If that's how you want to be, cool. But you got to take the good with the bad. If you're going to do it your way, do not get upset if you don't get the outcome you want, because the rules are spelled out. And there are rules in fashion, unwritten rules, unwritten norms. For example, I mentioned it the other day, if you were up on trial for triple murder in Texas, where they kill people quick, and your mom, your pastor, your girl, your three homeboys, everybody said, I got the perfect man to represent you. He graduated from Harvard. He was the president of Harvard Law Review. He's tried cases before the Supreme Court. All these different accolades. This man is perfect. He wants to take your case. And then he walks in and he's wearing a tie-dye shirt, some jeans that are ripped up, all these different colors of fruit Kool-Aid in his hair, black fingernail polish, studded bracelets. Would you want him to take your case and try? No. Most people are like, no. Why not? Because that's not what you expect a criminal defense attorney to look like. Even if he wasn't in front of the court, you'd be like, I'm not going to put my life in his hands. Okay, well, you got one life. And every day you're doing it. Right now, you and I are exchanging time in our life. We're getting value for this. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing is, most guys don't see their days as valuable, their time is valuable, their lives as valuable. So we're content to waste it. It don't matter if I look bad. It don't matter if I dress bad. It don't matter if I'm just chilling. It don't matter if I'm getting towed up. Okay, but how many busy people or successful people or people who are about their business are wasting time or wasting days or wasting their lives? They're not. They're maximizing it. A lot of us are just, well, this is as good as it's gonna get. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get that chick right there, and I'm gonna work over here, and I'm good, because that's all I can expect. No, fuck that. No, you can do better. You can do better. And the only way you're going to do better is if you say, you know what, regardless, if this is where I am right now, even if I'm right here, Martin Luther King said, there's somebody on Wall Street in the top office and a street sweeper. Be the best one that you can be. That's all. Just be the best one that you can be. No one will ever knock you for being the best one you can be at whatever level. And that's what starts going all the way back to helping a guy with confidence. A lot of guys don't hear that kind of talk. A lot of guys don't have someone saying, no, man, you're a king right now. You cool. This is where you need to be. And you can be the best one. That's refreshing for a lot of dudes, man.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about this. And once again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Go ahead and get the if you came into the chat, like the video. And you guys know Kevin Samuels. Many of you subscribed to him last time. Let's talk about the importance of High Def wants to talk about hats
Oh, okay.
So we'll let Rob Moore. Let's talk about the hat situation. I know Rob Moore got a hat on. High Def has a hat on. JL 504HD has a hat on. A lot of brothers like hats. I'm not a person that into hats so much, but a lot of brothers like hats. Hats is a big thing. Now, sandals, not too much. Brothers love hats. Fitteds, snapbacks. Let's talk about the importance of hats. How can you rock them in your opinion?
For 47 years of my life, I said I was not a hat person. I could never find a hat that fit this head the right way. Didn't look right. Even as a stylist, I talked myself into that until I said, you know what, you full of shit. I am not the only person that's my height, my body type, my head geometry. There have been guys out there who used to wear hats, and until I decided to find the hats that work. There are 9 different hat styles. I found the hats that work for me. I'm tall, I'm thin. So a hat with a low crown, a wide brim works really well. So I can't wear a fitted or a snapback, but I can rock a fedora. And I have gotten into hats in the last 18 months, completely opened up my entire wardrobe. So let me paint you a picture. Saturday morning, whether you're married or not, kids or not, girl or not, you get in your car, you walking out your house, you got on a t-shirt, some jeans, some tennis shoes, and you just throw on your favorite team's cap. You go out the door. You clean, no problem, but you look like everybody else. Same cat. You just take that t-shirt, instead of wearing the t-shirt, you just get a V-neck t-shirt that actually fits. Instead of just regular jeans, you get some dark denim jeans that actually fit. Not skinny jeans, ones that just fit. Instead of tennis shoes, you put on some loafers or some driving moccasins or some Yeezys or some Stan Smiths or some double monk strap shoes. Automatically, you look 3 times better than this dude over here. And you're still wearing jeans, t-shirt, and shoes. You put on a hat. You can put on a Panama hat. That's that straw kind of hat. You can put on a fedora. Automatically, you go from just looking like a dude in a white t-shirt to looking cool. And this is one place where brothers actually win, because when we put on a fedora, man, it's the business. I used to like to wear more more suits, such and so forth, but now my casual wardrobe is even more stylish, more on point, because of the addition of hats and better frames. They don't cost a lot of money either. Stetson makes hats for around, you can get them for $29 to $49. I got a video on my channel where I did an actual walkthrough, and I put on all these different hats, and I was just wearing the same shirt, but you see how the hat changes the outfit. You know, there was a time where guys wore hats, like madmen. Guys wore hats all the time. And now we're going through a hat renaissance. You've heard about cultural appropriation. Now you see more white boys or white guys wearing hats and fedoras, such and so forth. And honestly, brothers, this is a place where we really rock. So if you don't have any hats, go check out that video on my channel about the 9 different kind of hat styles, how to pick the right hat for your head. And trust me, there's a hat that works for you. Everybody, there's a hat that works for you.
Okay. Now I guess here's another thing I want to talk about, because we don't talk about socks a lot. I know, like, I had an oral examination in pelvic morphology last month, and I was struggling to find like the right socks for the right occasion. And some socks work better with certain shoes than others. Some socks are more comfortable than others. A lot of times, a lot of men are not, I know, like me, I used to just go and just, oh, here goes some socks. Woo! I'll take those and just throw them in there and go. Fuck it.
Yeah, as men, we don't put emphasis on our underwear. So our socks and our drawers, they're just, we put emphasis on what's seen, especially us. So if people can't see it, we ain't trying to rock it. But here's the thing. Women figured this out a long time ago. Guys are starting to come around. Socks. Every guy needs a pair of socks that go up and over your calf. almost below you. They stop right below your knee. If you've never worn a pair of socks like that, just go try them on and see the difference. Those socks never slide down. They stay up, and that's what you wear with your suits or your suit pants and slacks. Or you want those to be solid colored. Your socks should match your pants. And then, you only need a couple of pair of socks like that, and then a couple of pair that don't go all the way up over your calf. Then from there, you can get into stuff like happy socks. But I always recommend quality socks, meaning that socks are one of the few ways you can show your personality. And they can add to an outfit. Like when I walk out in a nice suit, and my socks may be the whole focal point of the outfit. And we don't focus on it. So happy socks are good. And here's the thing: we also look at socks like we look at they're cheap. We don't value them. So like our underwear, we'll go buy some Hanes or Fruit of the Loom, and it's like 3 for $14. Yeah, but like right now, it's summertime. Them jokers is hella hot, they're uncomfortable, and then you mess around and somebody buy you a good pair of drawers and they're micromodal or it's kind of spandex kind of thing, and you put them on and you don't want to tell nobody. You're like, man, these feel good. No homo. These feel. I like the way these feel, man. I like that. Yeah, and they change it the whole game. Here's the thing. Another thing, guys, you need to be swapping this stuff out every 6 months. Every 6 months, you need to nuke all your drawers and all your socks and replace them. And we darn sure don't do those. We'll wear them drawers to the last little bit. Be hanging on, boy. Elastic going all out of them. Yeah.
I know I will. Shit, I don't. I ain't gonna lie to you. I guess let's do this. For those of you who are in the chat, we're having a small talk. I know that you do have a show after this. Let me go ahead. I think that we had somebody, the Knowledge Consumer, loving this interview. Thank you for the super chat of $5. Let's get the brothers to go ahead and hit the like button on their the video like button. Let's talk about draws real quick, man, because that's what I noticed, and this is probably gonna be a little graphic. My mama used to buy these Hanes for me, man.
Yep.
The man, them Hanes really show you how shitty your ass really can be. I mean, I'm just want to say it. Yeah. Streaky. Okay, there's one guy. Listen, you guys, George Rich, I know you asking the question, man, but I'll do the haircuts. But if you guys want to ask questions, y'all know how to pose a rock, all right? Really. But let's them motherfucking draws, man. I know. It's like some days, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's like somebody poured Hershey's chocolate on the back of my goddamn back. When I got the boxers, now some of the problems are still kind of there. It depends on a certain day, not every day. I'm just saying, But I know the boxers was more comfortable for me. But what I do notice is that when I'm wearing boxers with like certain pants, it makes up the fit sometimes. It's wearing dress pants with Hanes, they are with boxers. Now let's talk about that because a lot of brothers don't really understand that.
So first up, I don't wear boxers at all because they don't have any support. Your junk needs to be supported, and I just like the feel when I'm wearing a nice pair of underwear. So I will either wear boxer briefs or trunks. So the boxers are just the ones that look like they could pass for shorts. There's no support and everything just kind of go everywhere. Briefs are what we consider to be those tighty whities. Boxer briefs are like the cousin of those two, and then trunks are a little bit shorter. Like O'Shea said, though, I don't want to say cheaper, but I'll just say, let's use the word. The cheaper the underwear, the less they breathe, the hotter you gonna get. You're gonna get swamp crotch. You're gonna have all kind of funk going on down there, and then your pants aren't gonna fit right. So what ends up getting a lot of guys twisted though is because we look at price and like, well, wait a minute, I can get 3 pair of drawers for $15. You want me to spend $15 on 1 pair of drawers or $40 on a pair of drawers? Man, you crazy. That's why I am big on, I do not believe in buying retail. I believe on getting stuff on sale or going to like places like, instead of going to Nordstrom or Neiman Marcus or Saks Fifth Avenue, I go to the Nordstrom Rack, Saks off Fifth, or Neiman Marcus Last Call. They got the very same high-end stuff for 70, 80% off. You know, and the first time, and I'm gonna be real, the first time I was like, wait a minute, these drawers are $75 a pair. $75. And then another pair is called Saks, S-A-X-X. They're constructed a different way. They got side panels down beside your junk. It lifts, it holds. Man, it's a whole new world. See, the thing is, guys have never even tried them on because you can't try drawers on in the store. You got to just buy them. And we're looking at their price and saying $40, $70. But I messed around and I found a pair. It's like $12. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take them home. I'm gonna try. Man, I burned all my other drawers. After that, I just start replacing them. Because you don't need a tremendous amount. You need 2 weeks worth of underwear because you need to be washing your stuff. But it's high quality stuff, lasts longer. And then even if you still got track problems, keep you some what are those little baby wipes on the back of the toilet. Wipe your hands with the baby wipe first, and then wipe up with the toilet paper. You got none of those problems. We talk about stuff like that on my channel because whether it's somebody mentioned hair, grooming, you know, how to shave yourself, all these things that guys we don't talk about because we don't want to be considered homo or gay, but we struggle with this stuff. And maybe no guy taught it to us. You know, you ain't got to go manscape, but just making you feel comfortable and being the best version of you. And like I said, ultimately it comes down to that. And I really don't think anyone can argue with that. It's just giving guys permission to say, you know what? Let's back up. If you got a girl, or if you married, you would have no problem with your wife saying, hey, baby, I want to go out and buy me some nice new underwear because that makes me feel good. A lot of guys be like, okay, babe, go do what you're going to do. Okay, so why don't you make you a priority? Why can't you go buy some drawers to make you feel good? Okay, you want to go, your girl or your wife want to go buy some fragrance or some perfume because she likes it the way, oh, well, good, she like it, I'm going to get some sex. So do that. Okay, well, how come you can't be a priority? Men don't make themselves priorities. We are the last ones. What is that? Women and children first off the boat. No, we got to make men priorities too. It's okay. A lot of us feel guilty. We've been shamed into even having standards for ourselves. We just got to take whatever the world gives us. No, man, bump that. You're important. You can look good. You can smell good. What's wrong with that? My grandfather certainly did. And he was the man of his house and things worked a heck of a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This one guy, he George Rich, you know, shout out to him. He was you know, what about haircuts? What about haircuts? So I promised him like last time, you know, come on, that we would you know, pretty much talk about, you know, what do you feel about haircuts?
Well,
like, do you also deal with brothers in the same, you know, in that? I know it's not. I know you're not a barber per se, but what do you think about, you know, haircuts?
If I was styling a guy, I would style the entire thing from head to toe, but I don't cut hair. But I do know what glass. Let's say I'm not an optometrist either, but I know what glasses look best on a guy. But I would also consult with an optometrist. I'm not a barber, but I know what haircuts look best. Ultimately, for Black men, we don't have the amount of options the majority of people have because our hair is a different texture. I just like nice, neat cuts. Nice, neat. I've always been a nice, neat guy, whether it's a shortcut, whether it's a fade, whether it's a, you know, a little fro. And I know a lot of times like, well, tell me what a hot style to men. Man, you can go back to the last 100 years. Black men's hairstyles have pretty much been the same. We can't really do a lot of stuff. Now, Yeah, there are going to be people say, well, what about twists and plaits and this and that and S curls and Jerry curls? Okay, those are extraneous. Those are tangents. Most of the time, it's just nice and neat. College fade, whatever, whatever that's called in your area. Here's the thing for us. Get your edge up. Get your lines right. That's what's more important for black men, because we tend to keep facial hair. Get your lines right. If you had a short cut, get it cut regularly with the same barber. Tip your barber. Be on time for your cut. A lot of times we go to the barber and, make your barber be on time. That's a whole nother subject for another lesson. But the barbershop is the black man country club. But it's a good barometer for how we treat each other in business. If you ain't showing up to your barber on time, don't expect to get quality service. If your barber's always late, hold them to a higher standard. When black men start patronizing each other like we patronize other folks, pay premium like we would pay somewhere else. If you was going up in the supercuts or wherever, pay them people the same thing you would pay. Expect the same things. We don't expect enough from each other because we don't expect enough from ourselves. That's why if I can get men to start caring about themselves, valuing themselves, respecting themselves, you're going to walk into the world as a different kind of man. You're going to expect a different level of respect. You'll give a different level. That's why a lot of times, man, you're just talking about a superficial image. No, I'm talking about building men. And you see how it just perpetuates. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, the answer was about haircut. Consult with your barber. What works best for you? And if you really want to know what is best for you, I do online consultations. I actually have a YouTube promo. I usually charge $250 an hour. I'm doing for $75 an hour for people who are subscribers to my channel. If you want more information about that, I'll put a link down in the description. And that's one of the best things I think for a lot of guys, because a lot of us, let's be honest, we didn't grow up with fathers in the household. We just doing the best we can with what we got. We doing what we know how to do. And no one's ever given us instructions, much less the cheat codes. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of times as brothers, we'll come and see another brother doing something. And instead of bringing some money and saying, hey, man, I want to buy what you got because I want to get what you got, we'll be like, hey, man, tell me or hook me up or this and that. But you don't walk into Olive Garden with that attitude. Right. You don't walk in somebody else's business with that attitude. And then if a brother says, no, man, that's not how it works, then you want to try to shame and guilt him. Oh, man, hook me up, man. Go to the power company and ask them to hook you up.
You're going to be in a rude awakening.
Oh, yeah, they'll hook you up. Click.
Yeah, so definitely. Well, like I said, I know you have an interview tonight, right?
Right. I got one coming up at 8 o'clock on my channel.
8 o'clock. What time is it right now where you're at?
7:26.
Okay, so let's do this, y'all. Professor Samuels got a hangout. What I would like everybody to do, let's subscribe to his channel and go support his hangout, because I want to give him some time to set up and have something to, something to eat. Because that's what happened to me. I had with Ron. He's like, I'm ready. I'm like, brother, I'm not. Yeah.
Right.
I need to
recharge
in between both hands. And I think I actually have one more to do. So I'm trying to knock him down. Tomorrow I'll be doing hangout with jet setters, Alvin Harper at Jet Setters, y'all. For you brothers that you're interested in going to Brazil. And that black man in Brazil group, Kevin, I don't know if you heard about them, Charles Tyler and them.
Haven't.
Those guys and Al Gracie, those dudes are on another level. Those dudes are out there living in Brazil. Many of them making sometimes $300-400 a day trading on Forex. They got that shit together, man. And there's a whole movement of black men in Brazil. Mr. John, shout out to Mr. John.
Sounds like something I need to get familiar with real quick.
Yeah, Rio. He's been living in Rio for like 40 years. He's like the Don out there. So once again, we're going to bring. They have a very good infrastructure out there, man. We're going to bring Mr. Alvin Harper, former NFL player, but now living over in Rio. Has Jet Setters as a company, and he sets up tours. And they also have, man, I got to bring my partner on here. He's teaching Forex trade, man. He's probably making about $400 a day living in Brazil. Wow. Also, in between here in New York, they got a whole movement of brothers, man, that got a whole bit of skill. And shout out to the Brazil expats over there. Mr. Tariq Pierce, who owns expatkings.com, currently is living in Bangkok, Thailand, I believe. So he's going to be writing for the Negro Manosphere. I talked to him, so we're going to get him. He's also with the expat movement. So as far as that, brothers, be on the lookout for that tomorrow, okay? So we're going to give you information. Yesterday we had a trucker show. Today we got Mr. Kevin Samuels. And what you want to do is this. Go and watch Kevin Samuels hangout right now, okay? Because I'm getting ready to get off, okay? And so we want to shoot the link. Go ahead and click on Kevin Samuels' channel right there, guys, in the chat. Subscribe to him. He'll be on within 30 minutes. I'll be over there. I go over there when I see him doing hangout. I'll go over there and super chat supporting.
Two brothers. Yeah, I'm with another black business too. So, and what they're doing, you know, I mentioned that, you know, Gallup, the polling organization, is trying to get in with them. They are doing some phenomenal things. So yeah, guys, please come by and support the chat and the hangout. This is some information that, you know, every time I talk to these dudes, I'm like, man, y'all got the cure for business cancer. The world just don't know about it yet. So yeah, this is gonna be good.
Okay, I'm gonna watch. And also, I subscribe to shout out to Kevin Samuels. I'm also one of his patrons too, so I support him on Patreon. I support a lot of brothers on Patreon, man. I support Kevin on Patreon, Solo TV84 on Patreon, Jada Black on Patreon, Alan Roger Curry on Patreon. I support Charles Tyler Show on Patreon. All right, so you guys also understand Kevin is has a Patreon page up. Also, what's that Patreon, Kevin?
It's Kevin R. Samuels. And I also want to mention this, that since we finishing this last stream, I'm going to take one person at random from your main channel and from the Vlogcast channel. I'm going to pick someone at random who comments, and you know, and I'm going to pick them to do a 30-minute style consultation. So if you wanted to if you ever want to put some of this in the real world practice, comment down in the comment section. You end up getting picked for a 30-minute style consultation. So good luck.
Good luck, you guys. Like I said, I'll be working with Mr. Samuels, man. This is our second hangout. I've been working with him the last 2 weeks, and we had great results. So he'll be back, definitely. So go over and support this channel. I'm gonna get some food, and I'll be over too. Thank you, Professor Samuels, for coming over here, dropping that game, man. We've been really making some hit shows, you know, we're glad to have you here in the Manosphere. It's good to see we have now a lifestyle person with that. We got the truckers in the Manosphere now. Wow, we're really expanding, man. We got Dynasty Amir, who's been in Africa and stuff like that. We got a lot of brothers, man, and we are connected here, y'all. Ron Wills. So you guys, you know, we have some professional people that we are dealing with. You know, Kevin Samuels, I think, is the missing link. Okay, because if you go to returnofkings.com, I'll tell you what you will not find. That's a great, just, you know, I had to shout you out too, man. You will not find a style section, and that's what I want to bring. I'm talking to Kevin after that. We want to bring that to the Negro Manosphere on paper, fashion. Okay. So you guys, we're trying to bring that together for you guys out here. Thank you, bro. Thank you, brothers. Shout out to HT Logistics. He gave one hell of a show last night. 34, HT Logistics 34. Hopefully we can get him back next week with the Ron Williams. Damn, O'Shea, you got a long ass head. Your mama got a long ass dick. But
roast.
Yeah, but all right, Kevin, go ahead and set up. I'll be over there, man, and support. Okay.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Later, guys.